welcome back to On the Nose. And last week we were talking with Liz earlier in the day, and now it's later in the day, and we're catching up with Liz again.
Yes. This is fun stuff. No, it's kind of nice to see your process and how you're set up. You're teaching me a lot of things about how you would set up a podcast versus how we kind of like jumped in head first and just kind of like went off of just phone calls. But to see how easily it is to just kind of up the quality a little bit, it's refreshing.
That's cool. The friend Ian who helps me with the sound, some of that came from him like being like, oh, well, this is what we need. And then I had to go like kind of figure out like what I needed to install to get that. Um, and then now I've been doing it enough that now I feel braver and I'm starting to be interested in learning how to process the sound files myself. Um, so that's kind of cool.
Nice. So what do? You just like record it and then process the sound file and then just overlay it, or how does that?
Yeah. So most of the ones that are just me, like I put them in Dropbox and my friend runs them through whatever process he has to make them sound the way that they do. But like the one with Tyler and I, like it broke for him, so I did it myself. And I use Adobe Audition to just kind of tweak it. Like I went through like my gain. There's like a gain knob on my microphone, and it was accidentally turned up really high. So there was like this horrific hissing sound.
Oh,
So I went through and like you can like select a small part of the file where there's a sound you don't like, and then you can like run processes based on that to try to remove the sound. So I was able to like clear it out and then like equalize the volume between the two of us and just get it to sound a little bit better. And then I load the video into the video software and I pull the sound files in and then I sync them up, which requires like you think it's synced in the beginning, but you better check at the end because if it's off just a little bit, it'll be
yeah,
really noticeable as you get closer to the end of the file.
because it gets more and more
Yeah,
unraveled.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like how I do it. And I've been asking my friend to teach me like how how he does it, just because maybe there's stuff that would be useful since that's what he does for a living. So
Is there just a simple way to just record the meeting off of Google Meet?
yeah, so what I do is to just get it is I do the screen record that's built in natively to Windows.
Yeah.
The Windows button Alt R, and that just records it and you get the file. And if you hit record, if you plan ahead and hit record at the right time and stop it at the right time, you don't even need to edit it. Like I don't cuz I have software that I can go in and cut like the little bit of noise at the beginning and end, so I don't worry about that. But
Yeah.
when Tyler and I record, she tries to start the video recording where she wants it to start, so that she doesn't have to deal with editing.
See, I think ours will kind of be like the raw behind the scenes, and that'll be part of what you pay for. Because our podcast itself sounds so polished with like the interlude that goes in and the outerlude that we use that makes it sound all pretty or
Yeah,
whatever. There won't be any of that. Like, it'll be literally just like a Howard Stern show where we have to bleep out where we accidentally said so and so's name, and we have to like bleep out big chunks of it, but leave it in. Because
yeah.
sometimes we get really, really off tangent and we're just like, we have to cut this whole section out. But people would pay to leave that in, I think. But
Yeah, I think so. I already put everything out that way because I don't go in and clip anything out. The only and most of the time it's like the episode is the episode, but like there was like the last time we talked, not earlier today, but like last week or the week before, that was so long because it was like 3 hours that I
yeah,
did cut it in half and then I recorded an intro and an outro for each that just kind of says, this is this ran long, so join us next week when we like complete our conversation. And then the next one said like, basically like continuing the conversation from last week kind of thing.
Yeah. I kind of want to start my own. I don't know what it would be about, and I would still have co-hosts, so it doesn't really matter. But I kind of want to like start like my own like themed thing. But cryptoids are already taken. I'm like, relationship advice, even though that's not really my expertise, that's already taken. I can't really think. Like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, maybe that's what it's about, is what is Liz's podcast about? Like,
Nothing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
about everything and nothing. And I mean, that's kind of mine. Like, I have no theme for mine. I had a theme planned originally, and then it just kind of evolved into being more almost like a journal or something. And sometimes I have recorded a few episodes I haven't published yet that are about very specific, not personal to me exactly stuff. But a lot of them are just me like talking about what's going on, and then I info dump in the mix of that. So there's still like, there's still information in there. It's just not as removed and polished as I had originally been hoping that I could do. But literally, I'm just not there mentally for that kind of work.
Yeah. No, I understand. Do I look really red on your screen?
A little bit.
I feel very red, but I mean, other than just it being 100-degree weather like endlessly, that's, I guess, every Oklahoman and their dog look like this right now. I'm just
Yeah.
starting to like, I could see the complexion next to your complexion, and I'm just like, wow. No
But
wonder they call us rednecks.
you got to compare with my videos when I'm working on the RV, because I'm like a tomato then. I'm like all overheated and like bright red.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because your cheeks do get really red. You're like, I'm a tomato and I have to stop caulking
Yeah.
right now.
Because I
Did
don't
you get
like,
that done?
I am in chunks. So I have 4 out of 12 windows that I can get to. There's another 4 windows I can't get to right now. So slowly but surely. But it's so much work, like removing the caulking that was there.
Yeah.
So it takes time. Like, I'm all these muscles here are like super sore.
Yeah. I can imagine. That's kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah. I'm not doing any physical labor, but Monday like kicked my butt. Like, I think it was the mental labor, the repetitive mental labor that I hadn't had to go through in a long time. Like
Yeah.
that pressure of like looking up and seeing like a line that went out towards God knows where. Like that hadn't happened to me before in a very long time, because even the jobs I was working at, it's like I haven't worked retail since I was in my like early 20s. So this was such a just different environment, but it felt so good and invigorating.
Yeah.
It was like taking a shower, but I was so sore and tired afterwards.
Yeah. So you're just like working the cash register at the place where your booth is, right? And
Yes. But okay, so there's 70 like dealers, and they all have their little tags that have their little dealer number on it. But every dealer is having a current sale of some sort, a certain percentage. So you have to like pull the tag off, put the right dealer in, then look on the sheet and make sure they're not running a sale. And if they are, enter that line item in 50% off. Then the next tag you get is a different dealer. So you put that dealer in, and they're probably getting 25% off. And
wow.
it's just, it is. There's no faster way to do it. It's like, it's cute.
Yeah. Well, if they had a more modern system, all that stuff would be they programmed into the system, right? And so
Yeah.
then all you'd need to do is scan the code, and it would automatically come up with the current sales and stuff. But if they don't have that kind of system, then
They don't need that type of system. They
yeah.
like it's one of those like this is a slow, peaceful like slice of Americana that never needs to change and people just need to just be cool with that.
it's
There's
a,
coffee
it's
and
part of the
cookies.
experience. Like
Yeah, exactly. Free coffee and cookies. It's awesome. So
that's cool. I'm
now
glad
I
you're having
just
fun with that.
thank you. I'm surprised that I am like not singing yet. We'll see. Hopefully the Christmas months are good to me too. So,
Yeah. I,
and your business.
yeah. I think Christmas was like the slowest time for me last year, ignoring the pop-up shop like on Etsy itself. So we'll see how it goes this year because I don't think I'll be doing a pop-up again. So um
Oh,
yeah, but we'll see. Like maybe because I have more reputation now, I have more sales and a few more reviews. I wish more people would leave reviews. Like those add a lot of weight to the algorithm. Hint, people that have bought stuff. But
right.
yeah, like um, maybe it'll be better now. Maybe like I'll show up more. I also need to get set up for that other marketplace. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'll import your stuff, but when we import it, we only import this stuff. You still have to manually go through every single thing and do this and do this and do this." And I'm like, "Oh, that's for like I mean, I have like 200 items. That's like so much work, you know?"
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
So I have like I'll do it, but it's going to be a couple at a time, and it's going to have to be once I'm past the stuff with the RV because it's just too many
Yeah.
things.
Which you're going to get leveled out soon
Yeah,
ish.
the 11th they pick it up, take it to the suspension place to fix the leaf spring. That's what we think is wrong that broke, and it caused the tires to push together. So they were like rubbing while he was driving. So I'm gonna have to get new tires because the tires like rubbed down to the metal at the bottom. And then
Uh,
I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to fix it, but when it comes back, I want to have the transport guy that came out and didn't charge me. He's like really cool. I want him to park it, and then he will help make sure that it's leveled the way it should be. And at that point, I can open it up and start doing like the next stage of stuff, preparing to move in because I have to be moved in by the end of the month because I can't stay here anymore. Like the person that owns the property was like, she can't be there. So
yeah, you got to get out.
yeah,
Pain in the butt.
yeah. So,
Ugh.
but I'm hoping that the repair will only be a few days because then it'll get cleaned, and then I'll have like 2 weeks to prepare it to move in, and I can use like 1 week to like say paint the wood paneling because I'd like to do that before there's a cat in there, and
Yeah.
do a couple other things, and then just start moving my stuff in. Um,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even have to be all at once. It can be like just a necessity, so I'm in there, and then I can.
Start staying in there at least and then start picking stuff over.
Yeah,
But enough to get you to where you can sleep there.
yeah, exactly.
Ugh, what a mess.
Yeah,
A stinking mess. Like, what a frustrating mess.
it's
But
been like, and I forget. Like, I get so focused on like the things I have to do that I forget to make space for my emotions. And I had therapy today, and we were talking about that because like I'm not real good at being present in my feelings. Um, and I'm not real good at like acknowledging when things are stress because I go, well, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna do these things. And my coping mechanism is to stay functional. And
adrenaline.
yeah, and then every now and again, lately I've been hit with like this anger where I'm just absolutely just full of rage. And I'll just be like, what the hell is going on? And it's because like I'm in this sustained state of frustration. Like if
You're cornered.
yeah, like if this had all happened and I had moved within a week and was just settling into where I moved, I would still think back and be like, "Man, that was really messed up what they did." But I wouldn't be like how I feel, which is, having everything go wrong and it taking months, right? It's just so
Yeah.
frustrating.
Ugh. Yeah, you got completely cornered, and that's what's added to that frustration.
Yeah.
So,
I know. I miss painting and I've been like trying to plot how I'll be able to do that once I'm settled into the RV because I won't really be able to do it in the RV, but I might just get like one of those canopies that has like the netted sides and then like
that'd be good.
do it in there and then get like a little eventually I want to get a shed to put my stuff in because I can't keep the storage unit. I can't afford it. Um, so I could get a shed and then maybe have a corner that I have little shelves and I can put the paintings there to dry. And they won't dry as fast because they're going to be like in colder temperature.
Exposed
But
to the elements, yeah.
yeah, but they will dry eventually.
Yeah. But they will just take a little longer just because it's colder and
Yeah,
moisture and all that stuff, but it will dry. It still sucks though.
yeah.
But the like I don't randomly want to like fight people sometimes, but sometimes, you know, you're just like, why not? It's just
Yeah. I know I have these like days where like or moments, not days, where I'm like, if I could just I just want to tell her and lay out the ramifications of her actions, you know? But like
yeah,
it's not worth it because she would just make herself the victim anyway. So,
right.
you
And
know,
how long were you friends before that?
6 years. And we
That's a long
talked
time.
every day, like the way that you and I like text like that,
Yeah,
but more like every
yeah.
day for all that time. Um, and the only time we didn't text as much is after my surgery when I wasn't really talking to anybody because I was so out of it.
Yeah, but that was different though.
Yeah, and I think that was the
You've had
breaking
two
point.
things. Yeah, you've had like two things like really like break down your communication lately that's made it to where it's like you've had to like work really hard to communicate, and that is like after the surgery and then all this RV stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, you're gonna need some space.
Yeah, I'm not like it's like hard to find the energy. Like sometimes like I'll record like my podcast and I try to do at least one episode a week. Sometimes I do two and sometimes that's like all I have in me and I like really, like I'll kind of check in with people, but that'll be it. Like I really won't have a lot to offer and the podcast will be kind of it. And then last 2 weeks or so, it's been a little better, but I think that's because I got the Adderall and that
Oh
helps a lot.
yeah, does help a lot. I have to meet with my new doctor. Did I tell you about the nightmare doctor appointment?
Mm-mm.
So I go in, doctor's fine. He's like, I'm gonna refill it, no problem. I'm a little sketchy on the bipolar meds because I've never really done that before. It's not my expertise, but we'll figure it out. But I'm gonna send you over to the phlebotomist because your cholesterol was high last time. So let's see where you're at and let's see where you're. One of my mood stabilizers, there needs to be like a test to see where the levels are to make sure they're at therapeutic levels. Anyway, so I go up to the phlebotomist and she's just like, I sign in and she's like, it's going to be a minute. And I'm like, no, it's fine. And there's like six old ladies sitting there waiting. Not a huge deal. I sit down. The phlebotomist like gets up and leaves the premises, like
Huh.
leaves. And I kind of sit there and I'm like, did she just walk out? Surely not. But I sit there for a while now. Now it's been like an hour. And these ladies are like chomping at the bit because they're all been fasting. So they're starving and they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna have to reschedule. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. So I'm thinking this is great because now I'm first if she ever comes back.
Right.
Like, I hope she comes back. And so she comes back and she like finds one, sticks it, misses, digs around a little bit, takes it out, and then like feels me up for like a good 15 minutes. And then she's just like, looks like she's about to cry. And she's like, I can't do this today. Like, I'm not going to sit here and stick you all morning. You need to go home and rehydrate and come back tomorrow. And I'm like, okie dokie.
Wow.
That was weird.
So she's having a day, I guess, it sounds like.
Yeah, she was not okay. I was like, oh God, I don't want you to stick with me in the needle. Yeah,
I've
I need
never
4 vials of blood.
I've never had that happen. When I've gone in for like surgeries, sometimes they have issues even because, I was fasting, so I'm a little dehydrated. And
Yeah.
they will they use a machine. So if they don't get it the first time, they go get the machine that helps them find the vein and then they use
Oh,
that.
what is this beautiful machine? I've not seen this beautiful machine.
I don't know. I'm
No.
always so nervous. So like I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get surgery soon. So it's not really like I just watched them do it and I'm like, yay for the machine. But I think it like I don't think it uses X-ray, but like maybe ultrasound.
Oh, nice. That would make sense.
Yeah. And I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
have to
why
ask about
phlebotomists
this.
don't use that.
I'm gonna ask about this machine thing next time I'm with a phlebotomist that seems to have her shit together. Cause she really like scared me. And like she's the good phlebotomist. Like I like her because she usually sticks me and we're done. But
Yeah.
she was so rattled that morning. I was just like, please don't stick me. Please don't stick me. And I didn't go back today either. I was like supposed to like rehydrate and go back, and I'm just kind of like, no, they already got my drug test. They already got everything they need. My prescriptions are refilled. I'm not worrying about this.
Yeah, do it eventually. Just cut back on the chicken fried steak, maybe.
Yeah, that needs to stop. There's this thing too, also called a steak sandwich supreme, and it's a chicken fried steak on a bun, but the bun's like this big and the sandwich is like this big, and it comes with a dipping gravy. Oh, it is too much.
Wow.
It's too. I wanted one whenever I was pregnant with Lillian. I wanted one really, really bad, and I ate one, and my water broke, and I was like, yes.
My my food drug of choice when I was pregnant were apple fritters and Wendy's French fries with Frosties.
Yes.
So and
Good
literally
times.
like I could tell if my ex had a couple of the fries like when they were bringing the food to me and then I would be like completely distraught in the way that only a pregnant person can be like
Oh, yeah.
there's not enough french fries. You ate one. I know you did.
And then you're just crying. I asked for some ice once, and there's like a place here called Sonic, and they have a little drive-in, and they have the best shaved ice, and they make the best chips. And I asked for Sonic ice, and I guess when he went, it was closed. So he had to get ice from 7-Eleven. And I was like, threw the bag at him, and I was like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah, the
I was
little
like, I
Sonics
want
has the
Sonic
little
ice.
ices. It's like yeah.
Crunchy.
So it's funny thing about Sonic. So when I was a teenager, we got a Sonics. They put it in where the old A&W used to be. It's same sort of because A&W had like the roller skating
Oh,
employees and
yeah.
stuff. And so Sonics came in and had the same thing and it failed in less than a year. No idea why. It just did not do well. And now just in the last year, they finally brought a new Sonics in because we have a couple in the area, but like not in that area at all. And now there's a new one there and it's it's doing well. And I don't like I
Nice.
like their food. It's not as good here quality wise as it is in other states, like the beef and
Right.
stuff. I'm not sure why, but like I do I do like their food, so I'm gonna have to forget that they put one in because I don't like very many fast food places, and Sonic's is definitely a weakness. Like every time I travel out of state, I'm always like, I'm going to Sonic. Like, yeah.
It's like Sonic. Yeah, that's how I used to feel about Jack in the Box. Every time I would come home, I would go to Jack in the Box. But now we have one here, and I'm like, yay, sourdough Jack, yay.
It's their tacos, those fried tacos. Like I don't even like fried food, but something about
Oh,
those tacos like hits the spot sometimes.
those are so good. But it's not very close to here, so, you know. Luckily, I do live in a little bit of a food desert, so it's like the other day I had to like stop at a 7-Eleven for like their taco, like they have a little taco company inside, so I risked that.
Mm.
But they actually bothered to make their own homemade tortillas.
Wow.
Yeah, but everything else was a little sketchy.
Yeah. I've seen like some gas stations sometimes will have like they have other restaurants, and usually it's like Subway or McDonald's, but every now and again it'll be like a Mexican restaurant, and I've never tried one, but I've always had this feeling that they probably make really good food.
Yeah, there's usually the hole in the walls like that are like the best. I like was stuck in like this horrible hailstorm that was like golf ball size or baseball size hail, and one came down and like actually hit and cracked my windshield, and I was like, that's it. And I like turned into the next gas station that I could find and like got under their awning, and then I jumped out and went inside, and they apparently made like chicken livers and chicken gizzards that were spicy with a special sauce,
Mhm.
and they were so good. I was just like, this place that I found, this like magical place. So good.
My
But,
mom
you
would
know,
love that. I can't do organs, but my mom loves them. Like I remember as a
oh,
kid, like chicken what do they call them? Like just the
gizzards?
yeah, like all that stuff. She just
Yeah, the hearts and the livers and the gizzards, the offals,
yeah.
chicken offals. I don't know. But yeah, I think poor people eat them. Like that's where it came from, is a necessity of eating from that.
I to me it makes sense that we eat like all of the animal. Didn't I didn't I don't know, like even growing up like poor and eating the foods that we did and being exposed to it, like liver, stuff like that, I just never liked it. It drove my mom crazy because even when I was really small, I remember I'd be like, "Nope, I'm not eating that." The flavor and the texture was like, and I just
Too much.
never, yeah, I never grew to tolerate it. So, you know,
Yeah. And that happens too, probably because like you were forced to eat it, and so you never got a taste for it.
yeah, yeah,
Phaedra's not a big liver fan.
my mom was pretty strict about it too, and she'd do liver and onions, which of course now I know I'm allergic to onions. I would always be like, no onions, no onions. But and then she would just keep putting it out until it went bad. That's like was my only meal. Like she's really trying to force it, you know,
Yeah.
and didn't work. I would just go without. I was like, hey.
Yeah. Lillian does that with onions, so I wonder if her aversion is because she's allergic to the sulfates. Because it's different than a peanut allergy, you know.
Yeah.
Peanut allergy, you actually like go into anaphylaxis, but like onions, you just have like the sulfates bother you, right?
Yeah, and I get like horrific GI pain for like 4 days after exposure.
Ugh, your stomach will hurt.
Yeah, my stomach and my gut, like the whole thing just hurts.
Ugh.
It's yeah, it's not fun. Um Sometimes like with my mast cell medication, my tolerance will be a little better, and so I've been able to like stuff that as long as the onions are cooked really well, I've been able to tolerate that, but that's only since I started the meds.
I have to wonder if I've developed some sort of like, or if there is a lot of probably food intolerance going on within these walls that I've never like dealt with or even thought about. Like I've
Yeah.
just like dealt with in a burpy kind of way, but
Yeah.
never in a like, maybe this isn't normal.
That's super common. That's like, and especially if you're exposed to it regularly, you won't really like think about it because you'll just be kind of like, this is how I feel. But like people will
Mhm.
that have like dairy sensitivities, they cut out the dairy and then go back to trying it and have all those symptoms again after getting a break from it. And they're like, "Oh my god, how did I put up with this?" But they're just so used to it. It's like I'm even having like reflux or GERD or whatever. It's the same kind of thing. You get used to living with it and you don't realize how bad it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to like, I did tell him, I was like, I've had some like burning in my stomach, but mainly I like talked about the Mitch McConnell moments I've been having. I've been having these like zoning out moments. Have you heard about Mitch McConnell?
Kind of. I
Yeah, he
saw
like,
some articles and then they I guess he got tested for like having seizures or whatever.
but he's been zoning out, and so I like lovingly call my little zone out moments Mitch McConnell moments. And I told my doctor, I was like, I don't know what it is. It's like it's not, they're not that concerning, but they are more like they have been happening more often where it's just like a complete blank, just gone for 30 seconds. It'll take a good 30 seconds to even reboot to find something else to say.
Mhm.
I'm just stuck there. And I'm just like, I don't know what that's from. He's thinking that probably he wants me to walk off my propranolol, my beta blocker, because he thinks that maybe my beta blocker is bottoming out my blood pressure unnecessarily.
I could do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, they have me take my beta blocker at nighttime. I mean, that's when most of my heart symptoms are, so that makes sense, but also because my blood pressure is already low, so they don't want me to have issues during the day with it. But when I took a beta blocker when I was younger, it just made me like not want to get up, you know.
Yeah, yeah. With me, it just kind of, I don't know. I just kind of seems to have the memory loss just seems to be tied with it.
Yeah.
So
Well, you you partake of the THC, right?
I do partake of the THC, some days more than others.
'Cause that
So
can have its own effects by itself, but then if you're taking mood stabilizers, they actually interact with each other. So
yeah,
um, there could be something there, some sort of chemical chemistry type thing.
yeah, there could be something there for sure. And he does know about that because he did renew the card. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
But
that's good.
yeah, no, that's always good. It's the ones that are like, "Are you sure? We'd rather prescribe you opiates," that are like questionable. Yeah, we have a lot of those too here in Oklahoma that would rather prescribe you an opiate than a weed card.
That's so
So,
weird. That's so weird. Like here, the doctors I've been to, they don't approve of the THC use. But they just sort of cluck about it, but they absolutely do not offer opiates either. Unless they're cutting you
yeah,
open and then they give you like 5 days and they're super like strict about it.
because they don't want to have the same addiction issues that they have in states like this.
Yeah.
So, it's serious. It's kind of sad. There's a person that I know that actually gets incredibly violent and has nearly lost his family because of it. Actually did lose his family of 20 years over it. So, you know,
Yeah.
and is in complete denial over the situation. So, I mean, what can you say?
Yeah.
It's
Addiction's
sad.
it's a complex, scary thing. I mean, some people like get addicted and they manage to keep their lives together. It doesn't like seem to escalate. They just need the stuff to function, and then some people they just go off the rails and
Mhm.
constantly need more and stuff like that. I was listening to this podcast, Hidden Brain. I might have sent you that episode. Oh yeah, I did. It was because it was about dopamine and the way that our systems sort of regulate that and what drives addiction. And the mechanism was different than I understood it to be, and I thought it was really interesting. Um, that like when we get our dopamine hit from doing something, be it watching cartoons or eating ice cream or whatever, that once it wears off, the body tries to equalize to go back to the state before the dopamine hit, right? So there's kind of like a scale, but what actually happens is we have our middle point where we were when the dopamine hit, and what happens is we actually end up over here on the pain side. So every time we have pleasure, we experience the pain of not having the pleasure. So,
Every time.
and then we have to be in that pain for a certain amount of time before we go back to the middle point. And some people do not cope well with that pain state before before getting to the middle point again or equalizing again, and that's kind of what feeds that.
It's like a Depeche Mode song. It's like a Depeche Mode concert all in one. All the emotions that you go through when that happens. It's That's quite the roller coaster, but that makes so much sense, though.
Yeah.
That explains why we chase the dopamine the way that we do.
Yeah, and it's like it makes like perfect sense when you think about how we evolved, because we were always on our feet moving to the next feeding place or hunting or doing whatever it was, and so we needed the motivation to keep seeking out like what we need to survive. But now we live in a time of plenty, and so we're like we don't need the motivation system that we have installed. We could live with something a little bit less
Yeah,
intense.
yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. It is I'm really glad I'm good at entertaining myself. Like I could see the traps that catch people who are prone to boredom, you know.
Mhm. See, I don't learn them until I've already, like, fallen into the trap. Because like, now that I really think about it, I can see myself fall into these traps. So, which is fine, it's just, like, it completely makes sense now. It's like
Yeah.
putting on a pair of glasses and just kinda being like, "Whoa."
That's part of
So
why I thought you would find it interesting, and they explained it a lot better. They had like it was like an hour-long conversation, and it was cool.
mhm, yeah, I remember part of it, but yeah, I mean, I do that with myself a lot because I have to have something, but yet I don't wanna do something common, but yet I have to have the dopamine constantly. Kinda like going up to the shop
Yeah.
to feel like I'm needed.
I think that's a healthy outlet though, like a healthy source of dopamine, because you are doing something functional. It's not harmful to you in any way. Like, no, it
Yeah,
seems like a good one. Um, I think like anything creative or functional, even like work, as long as you're not doing too much of it, because all things in moderation.
yeah. I need to make another commercial for the podcast, actually. Make another TikTok commercial. Since we have another today is the 6th? Is today the 6th? 7th.
7th.
We have an episode that comes out on the 10th, since it comes out on the 10th of each month. So
Okay. Yeah.
I'll try to do another TikTok right before. It'll be good timing for that.
Yeah. I got to figure out how to do like for these ones because I've figured out a system for doing when it's just me, like finding a snippet. But for these ones, I don't know if I'm going to like just share like a video snippet or do like the puppets or I'm not sure.
Yeah. I liked the puppet ones. They were very cute.
Yeah, I've
It
got
made me want to like do that.
yeah, I've got like 15 more like made. So I just every Friday I'll
Nice.
post one.
Very nice. Yeah, I need to like probably just do another one like the last one that I had. Only try to find more like dancing videos or something. I don't know. It's so hard to just kind of work with nothing, just to come up with something. And then I'm not really familiar with CapCut and video edit completely yet, and I'm still working off my phone. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I'll start working off my laptop more often.
Does CapCut work on the laptop? I've never tried like I didn't know if it was just a mobile device app or
I really don't know, but I was hoping that like something on the laptop would be good for like Patreon and stuff, and that maybe there's good video editing features, something. Because you can only put video on Patreon from the web interface. Am I
yeah.
correct?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you have to load it onto Vimeo and then share it from there. So they host it through Vimeo and then um
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just share links to my YouTube, but that's because I'm not doing anything that's Patreon specific really.
Well, we were thinking maybe too, just like going through Spotify and just doing the subscriptions through Spotify, since you could put videos on there. And so if they pay for the subscription, they get the video. It makes it
Makes
pretty
sense.
simple.
Yeah.
Only you wouldn't be able to break it up into as many tiers.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah. I like having all the tiers. I
I do
don't
too.
I don't like people it's interesting because I thought like I would get a lot of signups for like the lowest tier and I've only gotten 3 and I was like, okay, you know, I just thought it was like so little such a small amount that it was kind of a no-brainer.
That it'd be the one that would sell the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think if we do like a small tier, it'll be like our blog basically, which right now is like on a public server, but like maybe we'll move the juicy stuff to the blog onto Patreon. And that'll be like the low tier, and you get like a little swag bundle when you first sign up, and then like have like the second tier be I don't know yet.
Yeah, mine is the lowest tier is basically like you're just supporting me and you don't have to deal with updates and you get added to my mail list so you get a Christmas card or whatever. And then the tier above that is occasional updates and a thank you card and access to the Etsy discount code.
Yeah.
Um, and then the tier above that, which is a $10 and above, all that's where like the perks really start to kick in, and that's where people get access to the no ad version of the podcast because I just upload it directly there. So as I start adding ads or whatever, plus if they don't have like a paid subscription to YouTube or whatever, so they don't have to deal with that, and then they get art and a variety of other things that as they go up in tiers they get more. And I'm thinking about now that I have like mugs and stuff, I might add getting a mug for my podcast for like the top 2 tiers, but only after they've been a subscriber for a certain amount of time, you know?
Yeah.
Cuz I actually had somebody sign up for a tier where they would get stuff and I sent them the stuff and then they like after 25 days they unsubscribed. So they got all the stuff that was like worth money from me. And I was like,
Uh,
I need to be patient and be like, so I put like if they're at the highest tier, they have to be on there for 3 months, and if they're at the tiers below that, they have to be on there for like 4 or 5 months before they get like the art and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I just took some notes basically so that I don't forget. I
Yeah,
really want to do that so bad. I know it's gonna take time because we're like I said, we're gonna need a camera for Robin's computer and stuff like that and stuff. And she's not quite ready to do that, and I don't want to pressure her, so I'm just trying to like be
yeah.
patient.
Well, you could always start your Patreon, start building it out, and get people interested in it with the idea that some of the stuff is going to be happening in the future. I mean, I started mine and pushed the whole podcasting idea in the very beginning, but I didn't start for like a year.
Yeah,
So,
that's a
yeah.
good thought.
And
I
you
think
guys
I
could
will
just do
build it out.
you could just do your updates, start kind of getting used to incorporating it. My experience has been that people on Patreon are not super interactive. Because it's like there's too many social media outlets, so they sign up and then on occasion people will go in and like stuff, but I don't get a lot of interaction on there. So and Tyler kind of says the same. She's got two people that are interactive and nobody else really does.
Yeah. Hmm. I just really want recordings of it on there. I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
And I know we're gonna do it. I just have to be patient.
Yep.
One thing at a time. But yeah, swag bag. And I think I'm sending her a swag bag as like a kind of like here's to season 2 will kind of be a good little push. So
Definitely.
yeah,
Plus it's just a nice surprise, but help her visualize what you guys could be offering.
exactly. And then we got our first bit of advice today, our first question for advice. And it's about money and not relationships. But it was still good. It was just like the hustle's real and I'm doing everything I can out here to try to make some extra money. What can you suggest? And it's just like, well, we're all in that boat.
Yeah.
Every single one of us are in that little side boat
Yep.
where we've got something.
It's gotten pretty dire in that regard that there's just so few people that have enough now.
Hmm. It's getting very, very sad.
Yeah.
Kind of scary, actually. More scary than just sad. It's just scary.
Yeah.
So
I haven't gotten any like requests yet. Like I even have an email address and everything and I haven't gotten anything yet, but it'll happen eventually.
yeah, it will. It's been how long? A month? 2 months
Like 6 months
for the
almost.
podcast? Has it really already been 6 months?
Yeah, almost. Maybe
That's a
4
long
months.
time.
Yeah.
Man, time is just flying by. But I mean, yeah, I don't know how long we haven't played all of ours yet. We've only played since we've recorded 12, but this is September, so this is our 9th episode. So about
Okay.
teachers.
I'm on episode this week's will be episode 16. And then
Nice.
there were some gaps of where I didn't post consistently. And then yeah, so now yeah, so 16.
Yeah. I wonder if I did do a podcast on my own, what it would be about. I would probably just want to talk to podcast or cosplayers and stuff from TikTok. I'd probably start with I'd probably interview everybody, like
Yeah.
local Oklahomans and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just want to
But
talk to people. Like I need to get brave and reach out. Like I don't mind like having the same people on and just kind of like and do that, but I know that I also need to like go outside my comfort zone and like have other people cuz I just I don't know. That's why my whole thing is like having people on and just the fact that the most random regular person is still like interesting because they're not us, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Maybe I could do one locally where I just got like local floating heads on, like local councilmen and stuff like that. Talk about what's going on in Bethany. Bethany needs a podcast
Yeah, that could
with
be fun.
it's all of 30 people,
Yeah.
same 30 people that have the same things. No, it was juicy the other night, and so it was fun to watch. They didn't pass that. Like they were going to take the 4th of July parade from this person that's been passionate about it for 3 years, and they were going to take it away from her and give it back to the city, and it didn't pass. But it caused a lot of drama in between then. Small town politics, fun stuff.
Was
But
there
I'd
like,
love to like pick brains.
yeah, that could be, I mean, like, I mean, that just gives you like a focal point. Just be like, I'm just going to focus on the town I live in and the people that live here. And then right there, boom, you basically have a topic.
Mm-hmm. And interview all the experts all the time. It'd be fun.
Yeah. And then you could use photos that you take of the town for the images for the individual episodes.
That would be cool. And I could record them on Google Meet because
Yep.
people would want to see those. That would be
Yeah.
funny. I think I could do that. I think I might actually do that. I don't know. I mean, it's something I'm interested in. It's something I like. So, and I would definitely like to like talk to everybody in town that I'm friends with
Yeah.
and just hear their opinions about Bethany because it could get heated and I would really like that. Oh, sorry. I'm going off topic again. Is it okay?
Fine.
My husband, you know how he's weird about haircuts? He doesn't like his head being touched. So he tried again to get a haircut and he went to some place called Great Clips after work yesterday. And he swears they butchered him, even though he looks fine, and still ended up making me cut it or fix it by the end of the night. I was just like dying. I was like, I knew as soon as you got home, I was like, there's no way you're gonna let this go until I end up cutting your hair with clippers. I don't know why, but in your head, you think that if I go over it with clippers, I'm gonna fix something that's wrong.
That's so funny.
His hair's about as long as your hair, if not
Yeah.
shorter. I'm just like,
That's a quirk.
it is.
It's a
He
quirk that
think
only you can fix. Like it's like comforting to him.
no, he needs to find a bar. I sent him a picture of like the best haircut I could find, and I had to go back like 6 years on my phone. And I found this picture from like 6 years ago, and I was like, that's the best haircut you've ever gotten. And it was like a profile shot. And I was like, I want you to give this picture to everybody from here on out. Like, give this picture to them. They cannot fuck it up. I'm not cutting your hair anymore. I can't do this.
Well,
I was like,
he needs to go to like actual haircutting like people that charge money because like Great Clips is the same as Supercuts. It's
I know.
not. They ruin my hair every time I go there. They always do it wrong.
Yeah. He's getting what he paid for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so, I mean, when you're cheap and you're like weird about haircuts, it's going to happen. So,
Yeah, it's really hard to be picky and cheap and be happy. Like they don't go together.
no, ask my mom. It doesn't work like that. So, it doesn't work like that. No, I listened to the one where Tyler was actually on the nose. So, that was good. And then I listened to Two Crows today.
Nice.
Yes. Yes. They're good. You guys have a good chemistry together. So,
Thanks. Guys, I'm getting more comfortable. Like the first episode I was like pretty stiff and uncomfortable. Like the next one was better and I was like, okay, cool, getting better. Also the first episode I didn't have access to Adderall and then I did for the second one, and it makes a huge difference as well. But I've been playing with the
Mm.
light because I noticed that I blink like every second or half second. I'm like, like it's
Uh,
really bad, and it's because the lights bother me. Like the last episode we recorded, that's not out yet, I kept yawning, and it was because the light was bothering my eyes so much. So this is better. I changed it, so I'm still getting a little reflection, and it's still a little bright, but it's not. I don't feel like I'm in pain, so I'm hoping.
That's why I need better lighting where I'm at right now. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm just
yeah, I
using
think that's
a ring light.
yeah. I need a ring light if I'm gonna do these, but it'll be fine. I'll just start doing these with a ring light, and I need another one, another cheap ring light. Like I need to assess what my garage setup is gonna be like and see if I mean, obviously I'm sticking with recording and doing whatever I'm doing and taking whatever pictures I'm taking. I'm obviously sticking to it. It's
Yeah.
been this long, it's like sticking to it, so but hold on a second. Everybody okay? Good. But yeah, I'm obviously sticking to it, so I've got to like invest in actually making it worth my like while to like take pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Find a good place. Will you have room in your RV?
I will have room to do TikTok videos and stuff. There's like one spot that I can do it, and then will I have room to store my clothing? I don't know about that yet. Um, so I might have to like just have a couple outfits and but I'm hoping because the closet is decent sized, surprisingly. So I'm hoping that all my stuff fit in there because I don't have that much actual clothing.
Yeah.
I have more
Yeah.
cosplay stuff than I do actual clothing.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I've got 3 suitcases full of like cosplay stuff and I don't have anywhere near that much clothing. I don't know what happened. It started with because remember you asked me a long time ago and I showed you like one suitcase that
Yeah.
was overflowing, but now it's like 3 suitcases overflowing. So I don't know what happened.
I don't yeah. And the thing is like it's stuff. It's not like just stuff I bought or whatever. People sent me stuff. Like one of my friends has gifted me a decent amount of stuff, and then I got like that tutu from Dottie, and tutus take up a lot of space.
Yeah, they really do. I got that one from Dottie too. It's awesome, but it's really big. I haven't had a chance to properly wear it.
Yeah, mine is really floofy, but it's too small for my waist, so I have to commit to being uncomfortable. But that was like right when my move started, so I haven't, I just haven't had a chance to play around.
What is that? Oh, cute. It's a little drink. Can you see it? There we
Oh
go.
yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
Or like a strawberry sundae or something like that.
Yeah. Doesn't smell like anything, but they made it in Girl Scouts. That's cute. Yeah, nice like that. But yeah, I need to like I need the weather to give me that magical time where it's kind of in between the 2 seasons where I get a lot done and then I'll just suffer through the winter, the
Yeah,
dog days of winter,
yeah,
and then get spring again and then suffer through the dog days of summer. I've done okay. It's like if my house were just a little bigger, but this will work. So it is what it is.
yeah,
It's fun. Yeah.
yeah.
We were
You
talking
still,
about it being loud, but now at least there is a house, so I get it.
yeah, but like you managed to get a lot done, even though you don't have like a dedicated workspace or whatever.
Yeah. The cat litter box needs to not be in there. If it wasn't in there, it'd be great. Because if you guys could smell it in 100-degree weather, you'd understand. Like, it is not fun in there. Because it does. It smells exactly like you would think a garage that has a car in it, that has a cat litter box, would smell like in 100 degrees. And it just smells like motor oil and like cat feces. And it's disgusting.
It is gross. My right now my son's like they're trying to get stuff sorted so that they can move into like the garage and they have the cats in the garage and the cat box will break so that like they're peeing without it like being covered correctly. And oh my goodness, like if I go in there when the cat box has recently broken, the smell is like I can't even go in
Oh
there. I'm just
no.
like it's so bad. My nose is like, ah.
Uh, that's too bad. It's awful.
I'm like, you need to get a new cat box that doesn't break. Like, like I know, but it costs money. So
I really want the robot one. I really want the robot one. I just can't justify it, and I really don't think my cats will use it. I can guarantee you Megatron would not use it, and she'd just start peeing in the bedroom again.
uh,
She would just be a bitch.
yeah, I love mine. You could not. I could never go back to just scooping all the time after having. I'm on my third one, so and the other ones that I had are still being used by other people. Like I upgraded and then gave
Yeah.
the other ones away, and that's
Well,
pretty
maybe if
cool.
I start with a small cat, like a kitten, that's a little more used to it or something. So,
Yeah. I mean, you might be surprised. They may be like super into it just because it has like it's because it cleans. That means the cat litter's always clean. And if the cats are really picky about that, you know, I don't know.
yeah.
But it is a gamble if you know that your cat is finicky. But I personally didn't have issues switching over when I did finally switch over, but I also never had issues switching the food over, and a lot of people say that they have issues with that too. So I
See, and I have
just
so much issues. I had so many issues with the food thing. And like the ants forced us to where it's like, okay, no free feeding at all, like no excuses. Because we weren't really free feeding, but there were times when it was still happening sometimes. When I'd be like, oops, left some food out. And I'm like, ugh. So
yeah
with the ants though, we couldn't do it. And it was just like I had to put the food up, which was driving the cats absolutely insane. They thought we were starving them. They just like meowing and freaking out. And I'm just like, no, I can't leave food out. You're done eating, you walk away from the dish, I'm putting it away.
yeah
That's all there is
yeah.
to it.
I used to free feed, and then I got a cat who would eat until he threw up, and so I
Ugh.
couldn't free feed. And but with Amos, he just eats when he eats, like, and he's really good about like not overeating. So I leave the food out because he doesn't care enough to eat when I put it out. Like he doesn't seem to ever get like specifically hungry.
Yeah.
So like he'll go run around and then go take a couple bites and then not eat again until later and take a couple bites again. And I've been thinking about that like in the RV, are we going to have issues with pests or whatever, but I'm thinking like I'll just I'm going to be caulking around the edges of things in the kitchen and stuff, and I'm thinking it'll be okay. I also have a plan for treating the exterior with peppermint, is a really good deterrent.
Yeah. That'll help. That's what you were saying you were gonna use for ants.
Yeah, well, and for mice,
Yeah.
mice don't like it.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, I mean, I read reviews and there are a few people who are like, my mice don't mind it, but most people are like, yeah, it helped a lot.
Good. It's good to know. I like wiping my walls down with it, with a mixture of that and warm water, and just wipe
Yeah.
the walls. Yeah, it usually helps. But get that little layer of dirt off, which I need to do, which I haven't done in a long time. I'd like to do before the winter, just a good wall wipe down in every
Yeah.
room. Because you know how sometimes like the bathrooms and stuff, they'll get steamy and like you can see the dirt kind of
Yeah.
come out and seep and it's so gross. Yeah.
That's
And
like
it's not
my the spring cleaning for me is when I do baseboards and like walls and stuff like that.
yeah. I like to try to do one in both, especially like because I know we're gonna be cooped up all winter. So, but anyway, this cat. I haven't really sold anything major in my booth lately. Like I've sold some little stuff, but I haven't sold anything major other than that Mother Mary. So
You
I'm
sold the
kind
Mother
of just
Mary.
I did sell the Mother Mary. She was $200.
Wow, nice.
And they weren't sure if she worked, and I was like, "Yeah, she works." And I was like, "There's a knob on her," and they were like, "I guess they didn't see the knob, but they bought her anyway." So that made my rent right there. I was like, "That it's sales like that I need."
Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I was pretty happy about that. And she'll be in a home that actually really likes her, so someone will enjoy her, and that's all that matters too.
Yeah. Cool. I think we should probably we're at about an hour, so we could like wrap up and
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was fun.
Then
Yeah, we'll do
let
this
me
again sometime.
let me do the wrap up and then don't hang up yet. And then
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Thanks everybody for listening and I guess talk to you next week.